I get so many side effects from TREN, and the hardness and the vascularity I got from YK and the fat loss was unbelievable. It was so quick, and my strength went through the roof.
Right, he's 100% a full-blown juice head, tons of TREN, tons of testosterone, loves his DECA cycles, had a lot of good things to say about YK-11. What's up everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Please follow my Instagram at Russo Lifts, just in case something happens to this YouTube channel. You can follow, message, and you can watch my daily story content on Instagram. I'll see you there. What is up everyone, it's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's ASMR sip, I'm basically down bad on 1907. Check out 1907water.com in the description. A little grapefruit juice before I go to the gym, sensitize my androgen receptors. And check out Intelligent Elephant Carbon. Buy the cologne, smell the cologne, but you're hearing the spritz. ASMR style. Alright, like this video so it ranks in search. I know, hard. Liking a video for me. My bad. Continue to information leech for free. Welcome to the SARM comparison video to oral legit hardcore steroids. So I see a lot of people in my comment section, ooh, SARMs are only strong as steroids. I've Andrew throw up TREN being compared to SARM-like effects behaving like SARMs. Stop. There's certain power levels to the SARMs, just how Anavar isn't comparable to Anadrol. It's the same fucking thing, right? So I'm going to go into my personal experience with the strongest SARMs, and this is more of a video where I want to see comments on gear users who made the switch to some of these strong SARMs and their experiences, right? So you can write your comment below, and this can be more of like an interactive forum post where people are reading the comment section and gathering information on top of me weighing in. And if you need any sources, please check out my pinned comment to support this type of content, as well as the description below. SARMs are developed to go alongside your natural testosterone in a small efficacious dosage to help against muscle wasting, aka aging, and to bind with only skeletal muscle and bone, not with the prostate, not with intestines. And that's really where they shine. They were never supposed to be developed for these bodybuilding purposes, right? And I'll do a full video discussing how they are actually developed. I probably did. I'll have Andrew throw up something that, you know, defends that point. But for extreme bodybuilding purposes, there are SARMs that exist that have the same level of fucking side effects as oral steroids, actual strong steroids, but they don't convert to estrogen or DHT, can use them in way less milligram dosages, and they are just as fucking strong, if not stronger, than most oral gear I've tried. I'm not against oral gear. I'm not team SARMs. I'm not team gear. I'm just simply going to point out that there are certain SARMs that are right up there as far as side effects and as far as results of real gear I've tried. So I'll have Andrew throw up the Injectable SARMs transformation, right? That's the craziest look I've ever achieved, and that was done on a 300 to 350 milligram a week sustanon dosage, which isn't that fucking high at all. And Injectable LGD-4033, Injectable YK-11, and MK677 for constant GH pulse from my pituitary gland. You can say that it looks like I'm blasting tons of gear, when in reality it was like 50 milligrams total of the LGD paired with 20 milligrams total of the YK-11 paired with the sustanon. Overall, extremely low amount of androgens being put into the body to yield a 23-year-old sitting at 250 pounds with striations, veins, fucking separation everywhere, and that being the first time I ever got to that 250 pound mark in general. It looks like I'm doing a way more complicated, you know, 1,000 tests plus something else cycle, when in reality, that was a hybrid cycle that showcased the power. I'll have Andrew throw up a little snippet of the video where I bring in my friend who juiced like crazy, got to 270 pounds at 5'9", super crazy, biggest person in my gym. I gave him Injectable YK-11, and he had this to say.
When I took it, I thought personally it was better than TREN. See, I take TREN and
That's a bold statement.
I get so many side effects from TREN, and the hardness and the vascularity I got from YK and the fat loss was unbelievable. It was so quick, and my strength went through the roof.
Right, he's 100% a full-blown juice head, tons of TREN, tons of testosterone, loves his DECA cycles, had a lot of good things to say about YK-11. So the SARMs that come up in my head that are as strong as real steroids are high doses of LGD-4033, high doses of LGD-3303, high doses of R8140, S23, and YK-11. These 5 SARMs are, in my opinion, in a strong enough dose, comparable to a certain extent to regular oral steroids, some injectable steroids. The ones that highlight in my mind that are, you know, up there even above, S23, YK-11, and LGD-3303. If you can get real LGD-3303, which, in my opinion, the batches from Sarmify, the one batch I really felt, the next batch I was taking 4 caps, which for the dosage makes no sense. So that plug is on the chopping block. Not gonna lie, it's been stated, and I'm waiting on a little bit more evidence, and there's a fake testing going around, so I'm waiting on that. But Pure Oz had LGD-3303, and I wanted to get a bottle. It sold out before I could even get a bottle. But I could say when Enhanced Athlete made LGD-3303, and it was in 3 milligram caps, and I did 15 mgs, it was the most insane oral I have ever done, and I'm constantly chasing finding real 3303 again. It's extremely hard to synthesize and keep stable, and no one seems to be able to pull it off these days. Shocker. That, in my opinion, is the most fantastic SARM ever because it's a lean, full look LGD-4033. Doesn't matter if I eat 80 carbs a day, my face looks like a fucking Pillsbury Doughboy, even if I'm lean. It's just the way I react. I don't know what it's doing as far as throwing off electrolytes or whatever. I always look like shit in the face. On 4033, 3303, I have the same fullness, but my face looks great, and I'm vascular and dense instead of balloony. So that's my favorite SARM as far as strength. I've Andrew throw up. I've made plenty of videos hyping it to the moon as the sourcing for it went to shit, right? I should have hyped it more back when I had the legit sourcing for it, and I've been bitching at everyone on my source list ever since to just showcase real 3303 to back my point. But OGEA was the only one who made real 3303. I say it again for the company owners that are watching this video that the original Enhanced Athlete LGD-3303 was dosed in 3 milligram tab caps. At 15 milligrams, my roid rage mental aggression would be boiling. If I am dosing 30 to 40, it's fucking bunk. And I will be deleting people off my source list if you disagree. And I will be getting an original bottle. I have sourced one of real LGD-3303 to prove my point on video as far as my visual look. So thumbs up if you want to see that drama go down, because that's on my chopping block. The next SARM is S23. S23 being comparable to oral TREN, it's not the same power level as TREN, but as far as a lean, sucked in, dense, super strong vascular look that increases your basal metabolic rate, it jacks up your metabolism so you can get leaner as you go into a surplus. This product's great, super heavy aggression. Obviously the side effects is it's basically a male contraceptive. It will turn your semen sperm count to water, and it will shut your natural testosterone to 0 because that's what a male contraceptive does to work as a male contraceptive. So you must use a baseline of testosterone under it. But again, super strong, same if not more side effects as oral steroids, so you have to keep that into consideration. Now, as far as the dark horse in the room, YK-11, that's the one everyone wants me to run my mouth about, when in reality there's no real data to point at YK-11 as far as the myostatin. It's steroid structured in nature, and overall it feels pretty insane as far as the leaning out capability. I remember my friend Ronnie, the biggest person in my local LA Fitness, when I gave it to him, he said he was pounding food and his six-pack was coming out as he was lifting. A lot of OG juice heads that are, you know, fucking built like brick houses came in my DM box saying that the injectable YK-11 is one of the craziest compounds they ever messed around with. I will say for a fact that that shit's dangerous as fuck because we have no idea what that is doing, how that is behaving, or if it's impacting myostatin at all. I remember the gorilla chemist came out and said that it can't be impacting myostatin. We have test tube studies done in Japan saying it does. That's never been proven in rats, humans, monkeys, nothing like that. So we're all twiddling our thumbs there. All I know is the theory is you would add that in later in the steroid SARM cycle, later in your blast essentially, and that could theoretically keep myostatin at bay, prolong the gains. There's another theory that YK-11 could be dosed at night because that's when you're, you know, making your gains as far as recovery goes, and you would want your myostatin as low as possible. The other thing we don't know is how long it takes for the myostatin to reset to baseline level. From what I read into, it could be like a month or two of cessation if you actually move the myostatin level for it to creep back to normal. These are all questions that I don't have answers, and you can weigh in the comments below. And then a lower tier down would be LGD-4033, which is the most popular bulking SARM that's currently in, you know, the mixture of the online SARM metaverse, which has been very well documented as a mini D-ball without the estrogen or DHT conversion, and dealing with insane blood pressure. Doesn't impact blood pressure nearly as bad as Dianabol, and people have gotten extreme results, especially genetically gifted elite people. 100% back LGD, and then RAD-140 is a dense hardener, like kind of like a mini halotestin, not as strong, but overall density, hardness. You are in a powerlifting weight class and can't gain weight, but you want to get stronger, have higher central nervous system stimulation to lift more extreme weights. Boom, the most popular SARM in powerlifting right there. All these SARMs, in my opinion, are comparable to most of the orals I have played around with, most of them with less side effects I personally feel. Obviously, they are crashing your natural testosterone. They are impacting sperm count, especially something like S23 is going to, you know, flatline it. And then they are still causing cholesterol skews, aka they're gonna fuck up your good cholesterol and potentially raise your bad cholesterol if your diet's bad with it. But overall, they personally impact my blood pressure less than regular oral gear, at least the oral gear that everyone raves about. You know, my blood pressure, I feel immediately when I do Superdrol. I feel immediately when I do Dianabol. I feel immediately when I do Anadrol. I don't really feel like garbage crap blood pressure wise on these said SARMs, believe it or not, and that's with pushing the dosage of them, where if I push the dosage of Anadrol or Dianabol, it's a different story. That being said, you can make the argument that some of these oral steroids would yield more results because of the nitrogen retention, them behaving differently than the ligands, the synthetic ligands that SARMs are. But overall, I think some of the results, again, this look I have achieved with a hybrid cycle, I had so many big juice heads give me props that I pulled that off as the SARM goblin just using a hybrid cycle. There's no way in hell the 300 to 350 milligram a week Sustanon with my genetic baseline starting genetics yielded me going from 220 pounds to 250 pounds in that documented cycle that everyone can watch. So overall, I'm tired of, you know, gear only guys coming on my channel, and it's like, this has already been proven, right? Oh, SARMs don't work. Well, oh, which ones have you tried? Oh, Ostrine. Oh, S4. Oh, so you tried the mild ones. That's like me like comparing TREN with Anavar. Right? It's like me comparing Trenbolone with Anadrol. You know, it's the same shit. I'm not team SARM or team gear, but you have to acknowledge there's some heavy hitters in the SARM category that, whether you like it or not, are new age compounds that will become staples in the game the more and more people discover and fiddle around with them in comparison to their old traditional gear cycles, mitigating dihydrotestosterone, your hair falling out side effects, prostate stimulation side effects. SARMs don't bind with the prostate nearly as much, as well as E2 conversion side effects, right? SARMs don't convert into estrogen or DHT, so you're controlling that level of your baseline testosterone and not having to worry about cascading, androgens on top that all have estrogen conversions that are happening at different times. Thus, you have to add in more aromatase inhibitors to keep that under control. Thus, you are fucking your cholesterol more and more, and you are increasing the DHT conversion by blocking the aromatization pathway. All these benefits of SARMs not doing all that bullshit are things that have to be justified in creating a synthetic androgen cycle in this day and age with all this new information. You can say it however you want to say it. As far as, oh, I'm more of a fan of oral gear than oral SARMs, fine. I'm saying undebatable science of other cascading issues that you constantly have to deal with the more powerful oral steroids that you may not have to deal with the SARMs. But there are drawbacks of both, as far as SARMs not being, recognized by sex hormone binding globulin and SHBG crashing so rapidly. But you can also make the argument that if you're going to blast synthetic androgens, SHBG is going to get fucked no matter what, unless you're using HCG or bioidentical testosterone only. So these are things you need to take in consideration, but I'm tired of people coming on my YouTube channel, especially on my older videos that are baking in the algorithm constantly, and saying that SARMs are a waste of time when I've done plenty of steroids that I thought were a waste of time as well. And it overall depends on your viable goal and the method of getting there with the least amount of side effects, if you even think that way. Some of you guys just blast your socks off, which is cool. I'm a little bit more calculated in how I do my drug setups, and overall SARMs aren't the answer to everything. But when it comes to lower toxicity orals that don't convert into estrogen or DHT, that's why they're developed. That's why they're still being pushed through the trials right now. You cannot argue that. You can argue against that if you're going to do injectables. There are plenty of injectables that are viable and better than injectable SARMs, because injectable SARMs are still up in the air on if that initial first bout through the liver converts the SARM and behaves the SARM differently in the system than bypassing that first liver assimilation and metabolism, and it behaves differently because it's injected. It's no longer nearly as selective, etc., etc. That's things we don't know. But overall, in this day and age in 2022, we can't say that SARMs aren't strong. You haven't tried the stronger SARMs that I listed already. I'll see you guys in my next video.